Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lily coming with another video. Okay, let me tell y'all, we are trying this natural thing. Okay, like actually wearing my curl pattern, and I don't know if it's coming up in the camera because I noticed that the camera looks a little brighter than what I see on the thing, but we got something that's gonna come in the mail and help us with that. But I put some Crazy Sexy Curl by The Do. I put that on, and then I use the diffuser because I had tried to use Camille Rose, their gel, and my hair likes that, but it's not holding nothing. Now this is holding very well, and so now we have what they call the cast. Okay, and so we're gonna break the cast tomorrow. Okay, but yeah, you know, this is looking really juicy. The juiciness of the curl. See, the issue is I don't like to wear my natural hair curl because I be feeling like my hair is not as thick. It's fine. I have fine hair, you guys. Fine hair. And so I don't know. I just be wanting glam vixen curls and stuff. That's what I be wanting, you know. But we gonna see, because we can't put heat on the hair no more. We're gonna try to take care and maintain the blinds. Like either you gonna have the Crazy Sexy Curl, or you gonna have you just gonna grow it back to black. So you need to pick and choose what you want to do, you know. Anyway, that's not what this video is about, but I just had to give you a little hair talk, you know. I had to. Anyway, today we're talking about the importance. Okay, the importance. I feel like I have something on my lip. Oh, let me do this. Hold on, you know it's live. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, the importance of keeping your things private. Okay, privacy is going to build your confidence. I wanted to make the title of this video Real G's Move in Silence Like Lasagna, but I don't know if that's search engine friendly. I've been working with chat. Chat went out today. Okay, I don't know if it was just me, but at approximately 2:30, okay, 2:30, 3:15, one of them, chat took a break, okay? And I was reading where people was having issues with chat going out. I'm like, yeah, see, y'all playing, okay? Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but I think it's cyber attacks. None of my business, though. None of my business, all right? Anyway, being private is going to raise your confidence, okay? All right, let's talk about why we overshare with people. Why do we tell people things? I feel like when we're in conversation, people tell us things. You know, you're just making conversation. I'm from the South. I am from the South. And so we are the queens, okay, of getting information, extracting that information out of people without them thinking anything of it, okay? Because we just making conversation. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Where you from? What's going on? And you know, we talk about stuff. We talk about the weather. Then you segue into different things. One little thing can change and go in 15 different places, okay? All these questions, but these questions are always going to be divisive depending on what I'm trying to figure out, okay? And I could tell based off your answer and your tone of voice if you are answering correctly, okay? Or if there's something that I need to know. Like you communicate a lot, okay, based off the things that you say and what you don't say. That's another video, okay? I gotta organize my thoughts. I gotta organize my thoughts for the communication vibe, because there's levels to this communication thing. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you know, when you're in conversation, you might not automatically be like, oh, I'm gonna tell everybody my life story, or I'm gonna give all my information out to these people. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. That's not what you set out to do. People might just be good at extracting information, all right? Or you might be going through something and you're trying to outsource, okay? You're outsourcing. You need a little validation. You need a little pick-me-up. You need a verbal exchange, right? But what I'm saying is we need to limit, okay, who we're telling information to. We need to limit who we're sharing bits and pieces of ourselves with. When you share your stuff with the wrong people, okay, they get all in your business. They all in tune with everything that you got going on. When you face a failure, okay, it's going to feel that much more devastating. When you have a breakup and all these different things, because you might have, broadcasted your information, your news, your good news or whatever too soon, too early. Okay. And so when things don't pan out, then, oh, well, what happened with that? So then when you fail and then you have this fear of failure, it's not like you just failed. It's like other people saw you fail. Okay? Because a lot of the fear is like, oh, I don't want to do it because it's going to be public. Now we have social media. Now we have this. I don't want to make a fool of myself because it's still kind of like high school. Even though we adults, it's like we don't want other people to see us looking crazy. We don't want other people to see us not in the best light. Because again, social media is all the highlight reels, right? Highlight reels and the best points of everybody's lives and different things of that nature. And so you don't want to show anything outside of that. Okay, so it's a flip side. You want to make sure that you're only sharing the information to the closest people in your regular day life. Okay, because we have that pressure to be perfect, that pressure for everything to go, as planned. Like success is supposed to be linear, but it's not linear. It's crooked. It's it's like stocks and bonds. You don't know. You gonna hit it big. You might bust. You just don't know. And so you want to make sure you're limiting how many people you're talking to. Also, when you're talking to people and you're sharing and you have decided that these are the people that you're going to share information to, you want to make sure you are properly vetting these people. You need to make sure that you are properly vetting these people. Okay? Because when you tell people things and if you feel drained and different things of that nature, like a lot of people, they're limited. Okay? They're limited with their own perceptions of reality. Okay, not trying to be too woo-woo, but it's given woo-woo, because it's just like, girl, if they've never experienced anything outside of what they already know, then you really can't give validation about your idea from them. If they've never been in a relationship, if they don't even love themselves, right, how are they going to be able to love you? So you have to properly vet people. And the thing is, I feel like we keep from vetting people, and we know these people you can't go to them for certain things. Everybody is not going to be a close friend. You might have them as a close friend, but you shouldn't have them on like your actual close friend. They can be on Instagram close friend, but I wouldn't have them like a real, like you can't depend on them for nothing. Every time you say something or say, oh, that's crazy. Like the conversation is like you're giving more information to them than they're giving to you. Right? You wouldn't, that's not a close, that's associate. That's just a party friend. That's put people in their proper levels, right? Based on the engagement, based on their awareness, put people in their proper places and categories, okay? Don't just be out here telling yo deepest personal stuff to the party friend. First of all, the party friend is on the up and up. We're not trying to hear all that. You Debbie Downer, you're blowing the high, okay, for the party peoples, okay? But then you tell you tell your deep stuff to them. You tell your personal aspirations to the slugs, all right? They just sitting on the couch doing whatever they want to do. No, they're okay with whatever they've been doing. They okay with their little, whatever it is that they doing. It's just regular, degular, schmegler. Okay, they just happy they got this. So no, you can't be a visionary. You can't rock the boat with certain coworkers and stuff. They complaining to you, but they not gonna do nothing to fix the situation. They not gonna do nothing to do that. All right, y'all talk about, y'all daydream about, making changes and doing all this other stuff. With change is uncomfortable, and for most people, they like their comfort. They like, the way things are. They just upset for right now. So you have to be careful when you're telling people your plans, okay? Coming up with these different strategies, right? You tell the wrong person, then they steal your idea. We talked about that yesterday. Somebody steal your idea. They want the secret sauce. We talked about that yesterday, okay? Don't be out here telling people your business, right? Don't be outsourcing, looking for validation from these people. Don't do it, because it's going to be empty. We talked about it yesterday. Don't be looking for people to, fulfill your deepest desires and all this other stuff. Don't be looking for like your happiness is going to depend strictly on another person. Okay? Not even like the job, because we spend so much time. That's valid. That is completely valid. We spend so much time at work, so it's natural that you would want to be friends and everything with the people you work with and everything like that. But we lose sight of the fact that this is a job, this is a business, right? And people are always going to do what's in their best interest, and that don't make no never mind to you. They gonna always make sure that they got their bottoms covered, right? So you have to do that for yourself, and you need to be private. Don't be telling people everything. Don't be telling. I used to tell people what I wasn't gonna be doing and everything like that. Nope. My mom was like, if you ain't gonna do it, you ain't gotta tell them. They'll find out when you don't do it. Profound. Because we often think that confidence is loud. Confidence is telling people about themselves and things like that, right? But it's even more impactful when you're silent, when you don't have to say nothing. You already know what this is. You know exactly what, when you see me, when you pull up, we don't have to say nothing, period. We don't have to say that. That's how it needs to be. Just mute, everybody on mute. Like, that's it. You don't have to explain yourself, over explaining yourself. They don't want you to do something and you say, well, that's not going to work for me, and different things that this is, I can't do it, and different things that I don't agree with this, and this is not the type of relationship that I'm looking for, and all this other stuff. And then you feel like, no, we're not explaining it. Okay, people crossing your boundaries, we're not explaining it. We're not giving tutorial lessons out here. We're not. The confidence is in your presence. The confidence is in your own self-belief, knowing that you the baddest, you the boss, you the HBIC out here, period. And what you say go, right? You don't have to share, okay? We don't have to ask. Okay, we telling. There's a difference. You see what I'm saying? We telling. And even if we not telling, we just gonna do, action oriented, solutions oriented, right? That's what we just do it. We win every day. We wake up and win, but we don't have to tell nobody about it. Keep our business private, and I've noticed, and maybe because I internalize things and I have that Scorpio moon in myself, I don't like to share like everything, and I had to, reconcile with that as far as like doing social media. Like, we want to do social media, and you like to, Granny calling, we'll call her right back. Girl, so much is going on. We'll call her right back. That's why we late on the video. Family, I told you, stuff going on. Anyway, but not sharing so much. Like, I've always been that type of person. Like, I'm a granny's baby for real. And I would not share things. Like, I would just deal with it by myself. I really grew up and learned to not depend on people for my emotions. Like, I always depended on myself, right? And my grandma was just like, baby, that's why I'm here, But I had this conversation with her the other day, right? Literally the same conversation that I told you about yesterday, but this conversation. And I told her, I was like, you know what? I can call you and be like, this and this and this is happening to me or whatever. And you do be giving me these, it's going to be all right, baby. I be feeling like it's vague. Vague, right? But then I was like, I'm thankful for that, right? I'm thankful that you instilled that in me, though, because some people do not have that. Somebody don't have somebody that they can call and somebody gonna tell them it's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that are walking around right now and nobody has ever told them, you're going to be all right. All you got to do is XYZ element of P, which is why I have that. I've always been doing stuff by myself, but then having it reinforced, right? Like, this is not the end. This is not the end. All you got to do is come up with a plan. All you got to do is da 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 da. All you got to do is this, this, and that. You know, like, people didn't have that. So it's hard for me to identify with that, right? It's also hard for me to share sometimes with people. I can crack a little joke, you know what I'm saying? But like, as far as letting people into my world, that took a lot of time. And that is a main reason why we would start YouTube and then stop, and then start and then stop, because it seemed like as soon as I start back, woo, girl. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got the candle going. You know what I'm saying? Because, woo, and that's what I'm saying. Okay? And so it's just kind of like, I'm learning that it's never going to be the right time. Because I be looking for, oh, I need the right time when everything is perfect to get this done. You see what I'm saying? And what I'm learning is it's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be the perfect enough time to get whatever it is that you want done. It's never going to be like that. It's never going to be 100% perfect. In fact, you might just have to do it while it's messy. You might have to do it while it's all of this going on. You might have to do that, right? And because I'm so private, having to share that so that other people can see it and so that other people can shine their lights and do whatever they need to do, it's a little struggle for me. It's a little struggle. It's a little hard. Okay. Because it's just kind of like, that's not what I do. I go in the cave and then I come back when it's done. But you know, I feel like I'm being called to share the messy parts, right? The testimony parts to share. Like, to just showcase that, you know. And what I've learned though, as far as like having goals and ambitions, I used to overshare. Like, people would tell me their dreams, people would come to me with their things, and they would be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I would just be like, well, this is what you got to do. You got to do this and you got to do that, right? But then I felt like my advice fell on deaf ears, but I still provided advice. And I still believed in people for their dreams. Even if I may have thought that their dream was a little off. Like, I had a friend that wanted to be a rapper. She had never experienced like wanted to be a rapper. But because Cardi B was a rapper, she felt like she could put out music and things like that. But I was like, girl, I support you, but you know what I mean? And then wanted to put out a makeup thing. But you have to be a hustler. You have to be out there on social media, but you don't want to be on the social media, you know? And so I'm pouring into them like, this is a good idea, but we got to do this, and we got to make sure we got to plan together. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. You know, like, I don't want to do no mom and pop stuff, man. I'm trying to build enterprises. You know what I did? My mom never let me have a summer job. She would never let me have a summer job. Okay, so I was the candy lady, okay, selling brownies at school, regular ones, okay, regular, all right, and then we was the candy lady. You know, my mom was yelling at me because I had her deep freezer full of Kool-Aid in there. I was trapping, like, that's what I was doing. Granny used to wake me up, okay, and take me to estate sales, okay, and told me what to look for. We had a whole operation going. Okay, and she told me where to go, and I would sell that stuff on eBay. Like, that's what I was doing. That's what I know how to do. You know what I mean? I know how to make some things shake, right? So I had this conversation with my mentor. I had my meeting, and she was just like, yeah, you an entrepreneur. I see it in you. I was like, yeah, like, this waking up when other people want me to wake up, this telling me what's good. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't like people telling me nothing. Don't tell me nothing, right? But it's just like, you have to, like, I'm learning there's a balance. You just can't quit your job because you have an idea. You know, younger me would have been all for it. But what I'm noticing is people don't be having that vision. People talk a good game, but they really not for it. People don't be really down like that for real. They might hate their job, but they're not gonna quit their job. I will. I'll quit this job. I pack it up. It's already packed. You see? And so I had to learn, people just be talking. People just be saying stuff. So when we're having a conversation and we're talking about our dreams, goals, and ambitions and things we used to do, I'm telling you the real thing, but other people, they just talking. I'm talking about real stuff, real things, real experiences. And other people, they just be talking. So don't mess up and tell your dream to the wrong person, and then they start shooting your dream down. Then you got the same doubts and ambitions and things like that as them. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, most people, their lot in life is exactly what they got right there. Most people not really trying to be successful. Most people not trying to have and do anything exceptional. Not to say that we're policing other people's dreams, because everybody doesn't want to be successful. Everybody doesn't want to be excellent. Everybody don't want that. Some people, somebody got to be regular, and that's okay. It's okay to be regular. Okay. It is okay to be regular. Somebody got to be regular. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to clock in. Somebody got to do this. And we're not talking bad, but it's just like sometimes you really be having a dream and you mess around and tell the wrong person, and then their negative energy seeps into your dream, right? Their negative perception, or because things didn't work out for them. And they might be trying to help you and be like, oh, I was just trying to look out for you and different things of that nature. But it's just kind of like, don't plant seeds of doubt where you didn't need it. You know what I mean? That's why you need to move around. The other thing is, not telling people things and being private is going to protect it. Okay? Protect them from them, but also protect them from people that be trying to steal. Okay? Protect them from people that try to move around or circumvent and different things of that nature. Maybe try to block your blessing. They see that you want to up and up. They try to block you in a different way. You see? Or they try to copy. They try to do this. They try to, all that negative energy. They talk bad about you because you want to do something, and you're talking to a different guy, and they don't know why that guy is talking to you, right? And they just kind of feel some type of way that the guy that they like, or whatever the case may be, is talking to you and not them. And so now, you done told them about your crush. Now they trying to talk to the guy. Then you want me to talk to him for you? Right? Well, you know what? They dating. Just like on Mean Girls. I'm telling you, it happens every day. Don't be telling people your innermost things. Categorize people. And that's the other thing, is like, we don't be wanting to see what we see in these people. You seen it when you saw them, but you didn't want to see it like that for real. So you thought I'm going to say it's something else. No, you saw what kind of spirit was in that person. You saw that they had that, that ain't the first time. Your mom probably said that ain't your friend. Something told you, don't be out here sharing information like that. Don't be providing information like that. You just giving out the information for free. You just gonna share it. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes we create our own problems and obstacles because we done shared our thing. Like, if you get into some sticky situation, the first thing you got to get rid of is the phone. Everybody know that. You got to get rid of the phone. The phone gonna tell before you even get a chance to roll. You got to get rid of it. You got to. That's why you got these people that be on the thing. They telling people with the girl, you gonna mess around and get choked up out here. For real. Okay? No. First thing they got to go is the phone. What does that tell you? You got the element of surprise, the element of not knowing. That in time is going to take you where you need to be. You start communicating, start sharing stuff and everything like that. But you know it's gone. It's gone. Okay? That's the thing. And I don't want to say like that's gatekeeping, right? Like, if you get an opportunity and you don't want to share it. But what I tell you yesterday, what I say yesterday, sometimes God be blessing you. You supposed to be the one that came up with this idea. You were supposed to be the one that came up with this new innovative thing. You were supposed to be the one. Like sometimes I be watching TV and I see these ads for these different inventions, right? The people that invented the purse thing that you just put on your desk and you have something to hold your purse. You know what I'm saying? They got the 3D printers out. I'm sure you can create something, invent something, do something, and don't worry about what other people got to say. In fact, they're not going to have nothing to say because you never told them. You just going to do what you need to do for yourself. And you shouldn't be asking people, oh, I'm going to bounce ideas off of these people. I'm going to ask them for their opinion. For what? What do they know? Nothing. Exactly. Go talk to chat. Go talk to Gemini. Don't be out here sharing all your information. And even when you talk to them, don't get them too much either, because they might be reading your chats. And then these people be like, oh, because you talk to my chat and you got my chat GPT to help you with this, we should have a part in your patent and stuff like that. Yeah, no. No. We're not sharing none of that. We're not sharing none of that. Okay, the old chat helped engineer it. So technically we have a stake in your company and things like that. See, that's the thing with this AI stuff. Nobody has started talking about, the ramifications of ownership and intellectual property and data mining and retention schedules and all this other stuff. You see what I'm saying? But I'm gonna just mind my business. Got nothing to do with me. But what I'm saying is, don't be out here telling people your business. Don't be out here sharing prematurely. Okay? Let your stuff, let your stuff simmer. Let it simmer, right? Get the seasonings. Let the flavors envelop. Y'all, I'm hungry. I've been doing insanity. Yesterday was the fit test because it was Monday, and then today was the first day, and y'all, I'm tired. I almost fell asleep before this live. Let me check my notes. Oh, here we go. How is the privacy going to build the confidence? You stop performing your healing. You stop performing your healing. Because I feel like privacy allows you the space and opportunity to be messy, right? To cry, to be just in disarray. Because sometimes you just need to cry. Sometimes you just need to be in your thing. Right? And so when you're not private and you're telling people, you're talking and everything like that, you have to come out of your shell and you have to perform and act like everything is okay when it's not, you see. But they don't have to know all your business. They don't have, because they can't do anything. They can't even say nothing encouraging. You know what I'm saying? Share to the people that mean and matter something to you. You know what I mean? So the other thing is you're going to reduce your emotional noise. I feel like a lot of times when we're interacting with other people, we take on their emotions. I've noticed that, specifically for myself, right? I don't be sad. There's nothing, I'm a little sad about that here, I told y'all about. But other than that, I don't really be sad like that for real. I don't be upset. I'm not, I'm happy. But the thing is, other people, and I've noticed that, this emotional noise, it's okay because people need to, release. But I am not the emotional dumpster, and neither are you, right? So if we can't handle it right then, we just can't. Like, I'm sorry, I don't, feel comfortable talking about this right now. I'm not in a space where I can, I need to work better on that. I'm not in a space where I can receive this right now. That's not something that I really want to, you know what I mean? Because I have already established that people just like to complain. People just like to just bicker and argue and all this other stuff. And I am always going to be solution oriented. We might have a problem, but we gonna solve it today, okay? Because we're not going to have a problem tomorrow, period. That's what I believe. That is my philosophy. That is what I do every day. How can we solve problems so we don't have none? Period. And if we get a new problem, it take a little longer to solve. That's my favorite thing. But, because it's a little trick. It's like one of them cubes or whatever. But no, we're going to solve all of that. We're going to get that Sudoku popping. We're going to get it fixed. But it's just like some people, They need their problems. Their problems are their identity. Like, their identity is to be that person that always got a problem. They always need help. They always, like, they are a victim. They have bought into the fact that they are a victim. And if you are not a victim, if you, not saying that there's nothing wrong with people having problems and stuff, but what I'm saying is, if you are not a victim, okay, and you are a solutions oriented person like myself, then you're going to find yourself overextending yourself to people who are always being a victim. And the thing is, they are a victim because they want to be a victim. You know, if you consistently think about things all the time that put you in a victim mentality, or whatever the case may be, you're going to attract different scenarios where these things are happening to you. You know, if you've been shown how to get out of one situation, okay, but you don't take it, you choose to go the same way you've been going, I don't think you ever gonna make it to the other destination, because you want to stay where you at. You see, you got the GPS. The GPS is telling you how to get out of the situation, but you keep making the wrong turn on purpose. So you never actually get over there. You stay where you are, you see. So are we? No. So we are not the dumping ground. They're just going to have to be sad by themselves, right? And so with that, we're learning that sometimes people might be narcissistic because they're looking for an exchange and different things of that nature. And when you're growing up in those type of environments and you attract it in your adulthood, you just have to use those strategies and things like that, you know. And so it's important for us to have that self-trust so that we can have a backbone to stand up for ourselves and make sure that we are only aligning with the people that we need to align ourselves with, right? We don't need the external validation. We don't need people to, you know, bounce ideas off of. We don't need a round table discussion about what we gonna do, because it's only what I'm gonna do. It's not a we. We're not speaking French out here. You understand? So this is just me and you. That's it. You know, this the delegation right here. Just one person. So we don't need the exchange. We don't need to bounce the ideas and stuff like that. You know? And so then you're just moving with that authority. Okay? The authority is not something that people give you. That's just what you have innately. It's inside of you. Okay? Can't nobody tell you and give you power and freedom and autonomy. That's a number one. You have to be number one. You have to have that number one mentality. You have to have that, you know, and that's what I was saying. Like, my grandma instilled that stuff. You the head and not the tail. All that stuff she used to say all the time, you know, and I didn't think nothing of it. I find myself quoting it to other people and quoting it to myself. I'm the head and not the tail. You know what I mean? Like, we speak those things that are not as though they are. Like, that's what we do. That's like, it's in there. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, because my grandmother did that for me, you know, I have it, but it's not my fault that other people's grandmothers didn't do that for them. You know, and it's, if I choose to extend it, you see, and pour that into other people, but at the same time, it's like, how many, it's like that child that always be doing homework and stuff, and you did your homework, you did your classwork, you did your work, but everybody keep asking you what you got on number 7 and what you got on number 8, you know, and I'm like, dang, you want number 10, not 9 and 10? Because you asked for 7, now you asked for 8. Now you need 9 and 10 too, huh? I guess we're going to do 11 to 15 as well. Girl, get out my face. So it's just kind of like, you did your work, when they going to do theirs, right? Don't be communicating with these people. Don't be doing all that. And it sneak up on you because the conversation just flows really well, and you never like, oh, I'm thinking about, you know, going into school and da-da-da-da. I'm thinking about taking this new class. I'm thinking about doing this and doing that. And like, oh, well, you don't look like the type of person that it don't matter what I look like. It don't matter what it look like. It don't matter. If you want to do it, you do it, period. Let me see. You know what I mean? Listen, I really feel like this year, even though it's one, it might also mean solo dolo. Doing things by yourself standing in your own autonomy, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, and knowing that you have what it takes to be a success and do whatever it is that you want to do, period. I feel like because we live in society and everything, you know, and we think that success is linear and everything like that, and we don't want to be on public messing up and slipping over our words and hair not done and everything. We want to be polished, but it's just like we have to make it exist first. That's what the thing said. I saw it on Pinterest today, because I got to do my thumbnails. They said, make it exist first, okay? Then make it perfect. You got to just kind of start. Like, I was looking at my other videos. I'm like, dang, I started doing live streaming. Nobody I know knows anything about live streaming. They don't know nothing about social media. They don't know about nothing. And I feel like from 9 months ago or 10 months ago when I started just live streaming on my channel, it has truly helped me. Truly helped me. Now, I did get advice from the new generation. I need help. You know, I got the tea. I ask the kids because they can look at things from, oh, that sounds, you know what I mean? I didn't tell them anything, but I just asked them, like, because we don't know. Social media has evolved from the times that I first started it. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, so what exactly do I need to learn? Because maybe I'm doing something wrong, right? So you have to do research. But the thing is, you have to go and get, you know, information from the proper source. You can't ask old heads about new head stuff. It ain't gonna work because they don't know what you're talking about. You have to go to the proper source. And so you have to identify, well, what exactly do you want? And what is the proper source? What would that look like? You see what I'm saying? It's different. It is a completely different thing. So yeah, I commend myself for learning how to live stream, and I'm still learning and evolving and everything like that. But most of all, live streaming has been able to help me to stay consistent. You know, stay consistent on my channel, because that is my goal. Not perfection, just consistency, okay? Just putting a video out every day, okay? Just doing that has helped me, and I really feel that. But the thing is, I didn't tell people about that. I didn't say, hey, y'all, I'm gonna go be a streamer and da-da-da-da-da. I have kept my YouTube channel to myself. I even, like, my grandma called and everything like that. I'd be like, I'm finna do a video. They don't know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, girl, you're doing great. You know what I mean? Hit it big and send me some money or something like that. Like, we be joking or whatever. But it's just like, you know, I kept that to myself. Like, I feel like we have to have projects and goals that are just our own thing. It's just yours. It's just you. That way it takes the pressure off of, like, trying to be successful. It has to be a personal goal. It has to be something that your core value within yourself. Like, I'm going to do this for me. It's mine, right? Because too many of us are doing things for other people, being what other people need us to be, as opposed to being what we need to be for ourselves. You know, so you're going to have to keep stuff private. You can't tell everybody everything. You know, you can't. And that's a part of that. When I told you, you're either going to be alienated, right? Or you're just going to have to step away on your own. Okay? You're going to have to figure that out. And with that comes keeping your ideas, ambitions, and whatever you're working on private. And it builds your confidence because you trust yourself to do the right thing for what you need to do. You know, I trust myself now because I was able to do 15 live streams last month. I know I can hit 20 this month. And I can work out because I already started it. And I know I can eat better because I've already done it. I can do it again. We lost the weight. We can do it again. It's okay. You know, I trust myself. It builds that confidence. Confidence is something that you have. It's you centered, as opposed to, you know, other people, third party centered. It's all about you. And so building that self-worth within yourself, it's going to take some time. It is going to take some time if you have not been doing it. And if you are a recovering people pleaser like myself, you know what I mean? Took a lot of time because you want to be liked. You want to be around people, you know, but just because, you know, you're with someone and you're communicating with someone does not mean that you have to share your entire life just so, you know, you get them to accept you. You know, that's not the point of communicating. Okay, we're going to talk about proper communication tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. I still have to go through all of my notes and organize my notes. My dog went in that room. I heard the door open. Anyway, I'm still trying to organize all of my thoughts, you guys, and I need time to plan this month out. I planned last month out, but I just need time to plan this month out. I at least had a week off. All right, so maybe we need to schedule a week off? Because I had a week, that first week of January, I planned the entire month. And then, because I know you were like, well, what you doing on the weekend? Why you can't plan on the weekend? Girl, I'm trying to figure out my hair on the weekend. I'm trying to figure out my meal plan for the weekend. That's what I'm trying to do, you know. But that is a good idea. We need to hurry up and figure out this month. I'm going to have a whole week off of work next week. So bear with me this week, okay?